Coach Mark D'Amico, Celtics.com. You guys have been here before, last year, this year again with Game 7s. What's a Game 7 all about?
Got to get ready to play. Got to get ready to play at a high level, just like every other game. And then, it's win or go home. So it'll be, it's an absolute blast to prepare for as a coach and play in as a player. Be a heck of a challenge. Playing a really good team with, obviously tremendous individual player and who put on a tremendous show tonight.
Brad, you got Chris Mannix at the Yahoo. You got the quarter that you wanted in that first quarter, had a 5-point lead. Where did it get away from you?
I thought our second quarter, we missed some opportunities, but I thought we also just got lax a little bit offensively. When we get lax offensively, we open up transition opportunities for them, and that's a problem. And then again, LeBron, I thought, lowered his head and drove the ball at that time. And, we did a pretty good job towards the end of that quarter on him, but he had already made a few layups, and then he gets to feeling good and hits those tougher shots. I was proud of the way that we fought back, had a chance there to cut it to 4 on a shot. It didn't quite go down, but this group's resilient. We'll be ready to go on Sunday.
Dave McBenamin, ESPN. Brad, before the series began, I asked you about having LeBron in your path year after year, 3 out of the last 4 years, and you said it's really Cavs versus Celtics. I don't look at it that way. But when he does something like he does tonight, 46 minutes, and then the numbers, does that ever come into your mind that, well, this is a different type of animal that I'm coaching against?
Does that ever come into our minds? Every time we watch, every time you're standing out there, every time you watch him on film, best player in the game. So special night tonight and special night in Game 4. I can't say enough good things about it.
Mark Murphy, Boston Herald. Brad, those last 2 threes by LeBron, just watching those.
Great defense by Tatum, great shots by LeBron. Hats off. Tremendous. I thought the second one wasn't quite as contested maybe as the first one. The first one was ridiculous.
Brian Robb, Boston Sports Journal. Brad, they seemed to really hurt you guys on the offensive glass there, especially at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Just what are the, obviously they have a lot of weapons there from Nance Jr., but what was the biggest breakdown?
I thought as we were coming back, that was the biggest issue, was the glass, other than obviously LeBron. But I think the idea, I think we were all obviously consumed with our help, and we didn't either rotate and drop and block out, or we just missed blockouts individually, and they got easy tip-ins.
Brad, Kenny Roeder, WHBC. How did Kevin Love leaving the game with the injury affect you guys as far as your game plan or your defense?
Maybe more on the other end. We would guard, obviously, a little bit differently with Kevin in the game. But, obviously with the different matchups that they're playing and everything else, when they went small, I thought, those guys all reacted very effectively. And Jeff Green was great tonight. And I thought, obviously, Korver came in and made some shots and did what he does, and George Hill was tremendous. Other guys picked up the slack for him being out.
The other night you said best 2 out of 3 to go to the NBA Finals. Now it's, one game. What's your message going to be to your players other than that?
Prepare well and have a great time. Enjoy it.
Steve Ashburn, NBA.com. On a night like this, are you assuming that LeBron's going to go to the distance? And if you think he might sit out at any point, are you monitoring that closely to try to make hay?
He really only sits out usually end of first, end of third for maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. There's an occasion where he'll sit out the start of the next quarter. Mm-hmm. But, he's playing 42 to 44 minutes anyways in this series. Now, tonight I thought he would go 48. I think it ended up 46. Yeah. It would have been on pace to go 46-30 because I think he was out for a minute and a half at the end of the third, and that's it, before the subs at the very end.
Coach John Schumann, NBA.com. You guys went to Horford a lot in the post in the first quarter, and they doubled a lot. And were you happy with the way you guys reacted to that? And did you feel like you went to Horford in the post enough after the first quarter?
I thought that was good at times in the first quarter for sure. I thought our spacing was excellent, the way we moved it out of the double. I thought that the rest of the night when we posted, I didn't think we were as poised coming out of the double. Not necessarily Al, but just our whole five-man alignment in general wasn't as good. But, you know, when they're doubling, you've got to be ready to be a passer out of there, and Al's a very good passer.
Brad, Chris Gasper, Boston Globe, just to sort of piggyback on that, it took Al a while to get going. He was scoreless at halftime, and you look at his home road splits here in the playoffs. At home, it's about 19 a game. On the road, it's about 12. Is there anything you guys can do to get him going earlier, particularly on the road? Not that that's an issue now with Game 7 at home, but just getting him going.
It just kind of depends on who you're playing against and how they're playing him. I mean, obviously, they're late switching, what we call veering, a lot of pick and rolls when he does set them with Thompson. Thompson's tremendous defensively, but one of the things that makes him tremendous is his ability to switch. George Hill's into Al's legs, and right on the catch or on the dribble, they're going. So they're doubling him. If he's touching the ball and making plays out of the double, then his number of field goal attempts is going to be less. You know, the question that John asked, did we go to him enough? Probably a good question, and, you know, one that when we review it, we'll look at it and figure out if we need to do more.
Brad Rajaski from ESPN 990. Talk about, if you would, for a moment, the kid from Cleveland that plays for you, Terry Rozier. By how much has he exceeded your hopes, your expectations, what you thought you saw in him in this postseason? Tonight's game being maybe the first example of it.
You know, I think that our job as coaches is not to set limits on players with our own ceilings we have for them. So he hasn't exceeded them at all. I think that we have high expectations for Terry, and we think he's going to be terrific, and he's just going to get better and better. But we're not going to set ceilings on him. He's got a chance to be a very, very good player.
Brad, Gary Washington, Boston Globe. How did Jason Tatum make it out of that collision with Love? Do you think that affected him? And did you want him to be more aggressive early?
Yeah, I mean, we were on that one, and our trainers were on that one in the huddle right after. Obviously, that was a nasty deal. He felt fine. He'll be, you know, just like every other time, we'll continue to talk to him over the next 24 hours to make sure. But every indication is he's fine. But I thought he was good in the second half. I didn't think we did a good enough job of getting him as involved in the first. Thank you.
George Hill and LeBron from Cleveland, still to determine if they'll be together or separate.
Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. Ty, start with LeBron, 46, 11, and 9 in an elimination game. What do you take away from what you saw from him?
Greatness. I think championship pedigree. Giving it his all, and we needed that, especially when Kevin went down. We had to play Bron as being mental we had to. So, he delivered. He was up for the challenge. He carried us home, as usual. But, a lot of other guys stepped up too. I thought Jeff Green did a great job. I thought Clarkson came in and gave us some good minutes. George Hill being aggressive. Larry Nance, playing that whole fourth quarter. So, guys really chipped in and helped, in the absence of Kevin. And, LeBron brought us home as usual. Big shots, playing through, being tired and fatigued. But we needed him to be big, and he was big.
And then, you basically played 8 guys, I guess, maybe less. And with Kevin being out and the way LeBron had to play tonight and the other guys had to play, do you worry at all about them having enough left in the tank for one more?
Enough meaning, as in what?
Just enough energy, enough.
Oh,
just
man, come on. You ain't got no choice. One game from the finals, Game 7. Yeah, I can get out there and do something for that. Come on, got to be ready. Ready to play. No excuses. Game 7 to go to the NBA Finals. We got to be ready.
David McGrath, ESPN. After Larry Nance fell into LeBron's leg, what did you see? How did you think that affected LeBron's game, if at all?
Well, we were short on timeouts, and I was about to take one, and Bron said, "No, I'm good," and then came and scored right the same possession. So I think he might have just banged his knee, but other than that, he's fine.
And Kevin, have you a chance to check in with him?
No, I haven't had a chance to see the medical staff. I know at halftime they was evaluating him, but I don't know anything right now.
Ty, Ron Potesta, the Sports Animal 1390 in Youngstown. You started the second quarter with LeBron, Green, Corver, Clarkson, and Nance Jr. down 5. Outscored Boston 26-13 in the first 8:37 using that lineup in the second quarter. Can you talk about the defensive presence of that lineup in the second quarter?
I thought they did a great job defensively. That's what got us back in the game. I thought we got stops and then was able to get out and run and get in transition. And I thought Clarkson came in and gave us a defensive lift, 5 rebounds, rebounding the basketball. Nance was great on switching out, guarding smaller guards and having 2 steals and rebounding the basketball. Jeff, a versatile player who can guard, multiple positions, and Bron. And then you got Kyle just, fighting and competing. So I thought we had a scrappy unit out there, and they provided and, helped us out in that second quarter.
Ty, Kenny Roda, WHBC. Only 9 turnovers tonight for 7 points. How much of an emphasis was there from you, the coaching staff, to the guys about valuing the basketball in this elimination game?
A big emphasis. We know that they scored off our turnovers, and tonight, I didn't think we did a great job defensively as far as getting back in transition. I thought they hurt us by getting it up quick and trying to attack early. So we got to do a better job with that. But our half-court defense has been really solid this series. So we just got to do a better job in transition and taking care of the basketball, which helps with that.
Ty, as a player and now as a coach, have you ever been involved in a series where home court advantage seems to mean so much? And with that in mind, how do you take what you guys did here tonight at home on the road?
Well, we've been talking about it for a while now, but, we have the blueprint. We understand what we need to do defensively and offensively. I think if we take care of the basketball, I think we'll be in good shape, especially on the road. We got to do a better job of just getting off to good starts and not letting the crowd get involved in the game early and limiting our turnovers, and I think we'll be in good shape.
Steve Ashburn, NBA.com. In games like this, what goes into your thinking on LeBron and rest? When you're going to try to rest him, if you're even going to try to rest him?
You try to get him, you always want to close the quarters great, but if you can get him, the end of quarters and try to bring him back, that's what you shoot for. And then after that, just trying to use your timeouts wisely. I thought we had an excellent Brad called a timeout with 6:14, and we had one to waste before the 3-minute mark. So I think around the 4:17 mark, I was able to take another timeout, and that helped Bron get a little bit more rest. So just the flow of the game, how the game was going, and how he's feeling.
So when he comes off with 57 seconds left, even a little bit of rest is better than none at that point.
When you get the minute rest of actual game time, and then you get 3-minute rest during the timeout, and by the time you step on the floor, you're close to 4.5 minutes. So, yeah.
Marla Ridenour, Akron Beacon Journal. LeBron scored 12 points after he banged legs. Could you tell at all that he was feeling that?
I'll try to give him the bang his other knee, so then we could have had 24. But no, he just fought through everything tonight, man. He was huge, and that's what you expect out of the best player in the world. You know, you expect games like this on elimination nights, and I think he's the all-time leading scorer on elimination games. So, you know, add this to it.
Jeff Shadell, News Herald. Hey, Ty, we all know what three-point shooter Kyle is, but you like him winning, getting that jump ball with Baines. Could you talk about the way he plays overall?
I mean, you know, he plays like a champion, you know, and he plays to win every single night, no matter what it is. If it causes for him to come off screens for 35 minutes and not get one shot, but he's causing confusion and we're scoring the basketball, that's all he cares about. He doesn't care about shots. He doesn't care about if he's making baskets. All he cares about is winning, and that's what you need, you know, out of veteran guys. And that's what he's showing. You know, that's what he shows as he's been here and throughout his career. But just him competing, you know, boxing out all the time, taking charges, you know, in the right place defensively all the time. And you can count on him defensively, you know. Not the best, you know, one-on-one, you know, 37 years old, but when it calls for help defense and being in the right place, in the right spot, you can count on Korver to be there every time.
Hi, Ray Jasky from ESPN 990. Could you talk about how important Larry Nance's emergence was, or his performance was tonight? 5 of 5, 10 points, 7 boards, a couple of steals, 21 minutes, over and against Kevin's departure with the injury. Just how big was that for you?
It was huge. I think Tristan did a great job of being physical early, you know, shutting Horford down early. That's a big emphasis of ours going into this series. And then Larry came in and, you know, they cut the lead to 7. I think Bron went to the hole and missed an easy shot. They kind of had the momentum, and Larry tip-dunked it, put us back up 9. It was a huge play. So just his athletic ability around the basket, when Bron drops it off to him, he's going up dunking and finish, you know, quick. So we need that. We needed that spark tonight. Like I said, we needed everybody, and everybody collectively came together and got a big win for us.
Hey, Coach. Michael from ESPN China. J.R. Smith played 38 minutes, 5.3 rebound, you know, shooting 28%. Are you concerned about his efficiency? Anything else he does, you know, behind the stat sheet?
I mean, you know, J.R. shots, you know, they come sporadic, so you can't, you know, ask him to make every shot. But, you know, we want him to take every shot that he gets. And, you know, I think defensively he's been great, you know, just doing a good job on Tatum, being physical, trying to deny the basketball, switching on the bigs, boxing out. You know, so, you know, one thing about JR, you're going to get scrapping, you're going to get competing. And we needed that tonight from him. Like I said, he only got 7 shots, but I thought defensively he was really good.
Branson Wright, Cleveland playing dealer. Ty, how encouraged are you on how the guys responded with Caleb out?
Very encouraged, very encouraging. You know, I think, you know, when you lose an all-star like Kevin and our second go-to guy, pivotal part of what we're trying to do, and when he goes down, and then you can help your brother up, and that's what they did. You know, Kevin left the game. He didn't come back, and, you know, guys got together, and they played. They played for Kevin. They played for each other, and was able to get the win.
Ken Miller, Calling Post. Coach, did you see anything in the 3 games that you've already played at Boston that gives you enough confidence that you can go in and win a Game 7 without Kevin Love?
Yes.
Ty, I think when Kevin went out, pretty quickly thereafter you started to switch everything, which I know you had gone away from that earlier in the series. Is that something, well, I know you obviously would not want anything to happen to Kevin. Is that something you can do when he's not there, is switch more, and does that make you more versatile and defensively?
You can switch more. I think when Jeff's in there playing that position, makes you more versatile defensively. But, we miss his rebounding, we miss his offensive ability. So, it kind of all cancels out. But, we did start switching more. I thought we did a good job with that. I thought we did a good job with our double teams when they had mismatches on the post. We timed it perfect, and we got some 24-second violations, a couple turnovers. So it looked good. We got to continue to keep getting better at it. But I thought for the first time using it in this series, I thought the guys did a good job with it.
Terry will be in momentarily.
Mark D'Amico, Celtics.com, Terry right in the middle. You've played Game 7s at TD Garden, but you've never played a Game 7 against LeBron James with a chance to go to the NBA Finals. What do you anticipate that environment is going to be like Sunday night?
It's going to be a lot of fun, first and foremost. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. Obviously, we came up short tonight, but, we need the whole city of Boston to be behind us, and we know LeBron is different than a lot of other guys, but we got to get the job done. That's no excuse. So, we're looking forward to it.
What can you take from the previous Game 7 that you guys played this postseason that can maybe help you Sunday night in this opportunity?
I'm pretty sure we'll go back, look at film, let Coach do what he do by, making his adjustments. But at the same time, we still got to come out aggressive and play Celtics basketball. We can't just rely on being at home. Can't just rely on us being at home for us. The excuse for us it's gonna be easy. It's not. But like I said, we're looking forward to it. We got to come out aggressive and we got to make things happen.
Terry, Kenny wrote at WHBC Radio. You mentioned you can't just rely on being at home. But what is it in this series where home court has meant so much to both teams?
You got your fans behind you. It's a whole different feeling when you're playing at home. You're so amped, and our crowd is unbelievable. We got one of the best fans in basketball. So we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And like Coach said, it was the best 2 out of 3. We gotta go back home for Game 7. We gotta take care of business.
And facing LeBron in that game, you look at his numbers: 46 points in 46 minutes. Pretty much what he's going to get almost every night. Is it the mindset that let's stop everybody else and let him get his?
It's so much as just making it tough for him and all the other guys. We know that he's going to make tough shots. We know he's going to be aggressive. But that's not an excuse for him just to let him score 40 and try to stop the other guys. We're trying to stop him too. But, just show length. And, make it tough for him as much as we can. We're trying to make him exert as much energy, so it's going to be important for Sunday.
Ken Miller with the Call and Post. Terry, what does it mean to come back home in a Game 6 against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers and have the kind of performance that you had today?
I'm not really worried about the performance. Obviously, I've been kind of struggling, but it's just good to see the ball go through the basket a couple times. But obviously, I'm a winner. I want to win, and so I don't really. I'm gonna go back and look at film and see what I still could have done better to put my guys in position for us to come out on top. But just moving on to Game 7, and just want to come out aggressive and play my style of basketball.
Terry, Mike Petralia, CLNS Media. What changed in the second quarter? You guys obviously wanted to come out with a good start. You got it on the road. What changed in the second?
We stopped getting the ball inside. We looked for a lot of mismatches, post-ups in the first quarter. I think we kind of went away from that the second quarter, and they got runouts and they started playing with pace, and one basket led to another for them, and when they went up, they just never looked back, and we found we was fighting from down the whole game, and it was tough, but second quarter definitely killed us today.
Terry, Eli Mooney on AB Radio. Tonight, Kevin Love exits early in the game, and then they throw out the lineup with Korver. What exactly differently did you notice about that lineup compared to the one with Kevin in there?
Well, when you're playing guys like Tristan and Larry Nance a lot, they very athletic, so they're always on the glass. And, we got to do a better job of keeping those guys off the glass. They got a lot of second chance points tonight, and that's things that we can control. So we got to go look at film and get guys off. And when they playing with them two guys, it's tough to keep them off. So we just got to do a better job at that.
Terry, Ron Potesta, the Sports Animal 1390 in Youngstown. The first 6 games of this series, you have 36 assists to 6 turnovers. Speak about your growth as a point guard in this, not only in this series, but in the entire postseason.
Part of being a point guard is just taking care of the ball, putting guys in the right spots, leading your teammates, and I just try to cure the ball as much as I can, and that's just it's not something that I think about when I'm out there. It's just something that just happens, So I mean, it's a good stat to have, and I just want to keep building off of it.
Tom Reed, The Athletic. George, have you had a series? I mean, have you ever had a playoff series just from an offensive standpoint where it's been so strong at home and not as strong on the road? And if so, how do you get that going to carry that into Game 7?
No, I've been in a lot of playoff games so far, and it hasn't been, so night and day in my whole career. I don't know what it is, but I have to, program myself mentally to do better, take it upon myself, be more aggressive on both ends of the floor in a go-home situation.
Have you talked with T. Lou or anyone about that, or what they've seen with you? Some advice or something that your teammates are seeing?
No, I think he trusts me. He kind of lets me go. I mean, other than just saying be aggressive and things like that, but I can't blame anybody. I never was that point to say it's this guy's fault or we're doing this because I can't do this. I take all the blame for it, and the way I've played on the road is unacceptable, and as a player, I got to be better.
George, Kenny Road to WHBC. You were aggressive tonight. Did you tell yourself you needed to be even more aggressive when Kevin went down with that injury?
No, I think I had the mindset of being aggressive from the start of the game. I don't think Kevin's injury had anything to do with, how I was going to play. I took it upon myself to just put myself in situations where I can be aggressive. And it's kind of like that moment where you don't want to go home. It's not time to go home. And I think the adrenaline kicked in where, I had that pressure of saying I'm not going home today.
Not just with you, though. Tom asked you the question about night and day, home and away. This series is about home court advantage. So how do you guys as a team, not just as an individual, take what you guys did tonight as a team and win where you haven't won yet in this series?
I mean, it's going to be tough. No team's won there in this playoff so far. So we got to try to be the first. We know it's going to be a tough atmosphere and a crazy time, but, we got to focus on just one game. I think if we take that same energy from tip-off that we brought tonight, I think we'll be fine. But we can't go in there and settle. We can't go in there and get back on our heels. We got to go put the pressure on them.
George, we've seen you play 2 elimination games now with the Cavs, Game 7 against the Pacers, and then tonight. And in both games, you seem to go to the hole. Like seemed like that was your game plan. Why, when you absolutely have to have it game, why then to go to the rim?
I don't know. I think it's just a overall, like I said, mindset. The thing that just say if the jump shot's not falling, be aggressive. I felt like, last couple games, in Boston, I may settled a little bit for a couple jump shots and things like that, or kind of, went away, and didn't insert myself in the offense and things like that. So just take it upon myself of, trying to be there for my teammates, knowing that my play from last game was unacceptable. So the first thing I did was, just try to get to the basket, get some easy looks. And I think, driving to the basket opens up, the feeling of your game with jump shots going in, things like that. But just the mindset of just attacking early.
And then the guys that Ty's relying on, you guys are, other than Jordan and Larry, I guess, you're all veterans. You've been there a bunch of times. So with that in mind, did LeBron have any special message before tonight? Can you share with what he may have said in any huddles or anything like that?
I mean, he says what he needs to say. It was nothing out the ordinary. He said just leave it all on the floor, be determined, play hard, and win this game. Just focus on this game to give ourselves a chance, and that's all he said. And I think, every guy, rallied around that and gave ourselves a chance.
George, what are these? I know this is a hard question, but you've waited this long to get to the finals. What do you think these next 36 hours are going to be for you? Having made so many of the playoffs so many times, I think you've been to a Game 7 in a conference final one other time. What's going through your mind emotionally for this opportunity?
I don't know. I've been in the whirlwind all season, starting out in SAC and things like that. Didn't think I would get this opportunity. So to get this opportunity, I think is a once in a lifetime. You got to take advantage of it. I have to focus and try to do the same things that I prepared today to take into Sunday. And, it sounds funny, but I have to go find my Chipotle barbacoa. That's my pregame meal. So I've 2 games, well, the 3 games here, that's what I ate before the game. So I'm for sure going to find a Chipotle in Boston, I tell you that.
George, Aaron Goldhammer, ESPN Cleveland. What's salsa first on the burrito?
No, I just get regular tacos with barbacoa and guacamole. That's it.
Thank you. The third quarter tonight, it's been a problem for the Cavs at times in these playoffs and this year. You had 12 points in the third. What was your approach coming out of halftime?
Just mindset, like I said, being aggressive, trying to get to the rack, rim, things like that. I know that's been our Achilles heel so far this playoffs, this third quarter. So guys came out the locker room early, did 2 lines, got some layups, got shots going, got loose. We said the first 3 minutes of the third quarter we need to make a statement and impact the game. And I think, the first possession we got the steal for the layup and things like that. But all guys just, making plays down the stretch to really, put ourselves in a situation where we could get a win.
Hi, Shelly Smith from ESPN. How would you characterize what LeBron did on the court tonight?
I don't know, that guy amazes me every night, from the amount of minutes, the amount of years he got, the amount of fouls he get on his body and guys he got hanging off his body and things like that. What he does night in and night out is something remarkable. That's why he's one of the best in the world, if not the best. But it's very special. I'm very fortunate and blessed to have him on our side this time. I've been in the league for some years and ran across him on the other side and really hated his guts. But to have him on our side, it kind of, lets me take a deep, fresher breath air. So, it's just something that you really can't explain. What he's doing night in and night out is just something special.
George, Scott Sargent, WFNY. To kind of piggyback off that, you've had a front row seat now being a part of this. Is this the best you've seen him play since you've been playing against him?
Yeah, I thought the best was when he always put us out. But, to actually see it, when he's on your team and things like that, I mean, I can't even put it into words. Sometimes I just think, like, how did he make that shot, or how did he make that move, or when did he see that pass? Just night in, night out, just making big plays and big shots. And people always list him as not a shooter, but he's making big shots down the stretch. If it's 3-pointers, layups, dunks, passes, he can do it all. So that's why I kind of, take it upon myself and say he's the best that I've seen ever.
Ray Jeske, ESPN 990. The last 2 questions are similar. I remember a 40-18-9 game against you guys, Game 4, 2012 in Indianapolis. What has to happen Sunday? There's been a talk about you can't rely on hero ball. LeBron, maybe he's got another 46 in him, but not. What do you guys have to do to have a chance to win Sunday?
We as, road guys have to step up and play. It's Game 7. It's an elimination round, a game. We can't focus on what he's doing. He's going to play his game. He's going to do what he do. We have to take it upon ourselves to come out ready to play from jump ball and give it all we got out there. But we can't focus on, sit in the back seat waiting on him to insert us into the offense. We have to go get it. Thank you.
Branson Wright, Cleveland, playing dealer. LeBron, how would you say with your team, how your teammates responded with Kevin Love? How encouraged were you with that?
I think they responded exceptionally well. Our second quarter, our guys that came off the bench, Jordan, Jeff, Kyle, and Larry, they just gave us a huge boost in that second quarter, and it's the reason why we outscored them by 16 in that second quarter. It was just huge. We needed it, obviously more than ever tonight, with the situation that we were in.
Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. LeBron, we didn't get a real good look at what happened to you. So could you take us through with, I think you banged knees, and then how you were feeling after that? I think you scored 12 points to close it out.
Well, I didn't get a good look at it either. I would have been able to avoid it. After the game, I didn't know who got me, but after the game, Larry asked me was I okay. So I'm guessing he was the culprit of it. I just felt someone fall into my leg, and kind of, my leg kind of went in, and felt some pain, throughout, my entire right side of my leg, into my ankle, into my leg. So, I was just hoping for the best, obviously, because I've seen so many different injuries, and watching basketball with that type of injury, someone falling into someone's leg, standing straight up, and luckily I was able to finish the game.
LeBron, Hayden Grove, Cleveland.com. After that second long three in the fourth quarter, you kind of let out a scream and pounded your chest a little bit. What were you? What caused that reaction, and what were you thinking in that moment?
The love of the game, causes reactions like that. Understanding the situation, and understanding the moment that you're in, and just a feeling that you can't explain unless you've been a part of it. So. That's all.
Second row, Jason Lloyd, The Athletic. We were talking in the 15 finals when everyone was out with injuries, and you said, I can't play all 48 in the finals game because I burned too much energy. We're not in the finals, but we're pretty close, and you didn't play all 48, but it's pretty close. Have you, with what you did in Game 7 against Indiana with tonight, have you even exceeded stamina-wise and energy-wise what you are able to do on a court in a game like this?
Just try to put myself in the best possible shape, each and every year, to be able to, go for the long haul. And obviously, getting a couple minutes here, per quarter will be great. But it's not what our team is built on right now. Our team is built on, me being out on the floor to be able to make plays, not only for myself but make plays for others. And it's just the way we've been playing, and we've been succeeding with it. But I was able to play 46 minutes today, and I got my couple minutes, I guess.
And going back to the roll up on Larry, does that at all compare to against Chicago when you rolled your ankle? I think Griff said your ankle bone hit the floor, and everyone thought you were done, and you just retied your shoe and walked back out there. Does tonight at all compare to that? Was one worse than the other?
Well, I wasn't coming out in either cases. Obviously, I would have had to literally have a really bad injury. I don't even know if that's not even wood. I'll find someone on the way out to come off the floor with this, with the opportunity that we have to be able to force a Game 7.
Dave McMahon, ESPN. LeBron, you've had all sorts of challenges you overcome in your career thus far, but you're going to go into Boston where they're 10-0 this postseason, Sunday Game 7. What's it like pondering that chance? Tristan Thompson said in the locker room, this is what you live for, a Game 7 at the Garden.
Just go out and trust what you built on all year. For me, I don't put too much added pressure on myself. I just go out and play my game. It's a Game 7. This is something that you wish you would have when you're done playing. But more than that, it's just basketball for me. I know what I'm capable of doing, and I'm gonna trust trust everything I put into it.
LeBron, can you kind of take us through the next 48 hours and how you're going to get yourself ready to be in Game 7 the way you were tonight?
As soon as I leave here, I'll start to prepare. I'm getting in the car and head back to Akron, and as soon as I get home, I'll start my treatment. And I'll do the same all day. Tomorrow, from before we leave to go to Boston, and then once we get into Boston, I'll do that as well. Try to get as much sleep as I can, with tonight and with tomorrow, and even on Sunday before the game to try to. That's the best recovery that you can possibly get is when you're sleeping. So it'll be around the clock treatment, and we'll see what happens.
You obviously have that extra gear when you know you absolutely have to win and you're exhausted. What is the thought process? What do you say to yourself?
I don't know. I don't really talk to myself much, to be honest. I don't talk to myself much. I don't know. I just go out and play. I have a drive. I have a love for the game. I have a passion for the game. And while I have the opportunity to lace my shoes up and put a uniform on, then I try to go out and do my job to the best of my ability. And does it always work out in a win? Obviously, no, I'm not undefeated in my career. Does it always, me playing great? I haven't always played great in my career, but I just always wanted to try to maximize, when I'm on the floor. And I've been able to do that in my 15th year so far.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. LeBron, Ty said that he feels like after 6 games, you guys have the blueprint going into Game 7. What's it going to take to execute that on the road?
You got to be poised. You got to be able to handle a punch or two. And you got to be able to combat that and be just as solid and just as aggressive on the offensive end. So, we know it's challenging. They 10-0 on their home floor. And, they've been very successful against us, obviously, at home. So, but if you love challenges, then this is a great opportunity.
LeBron, you've been a clutch player basically your whole career. How do you feel you've evolved in the last few years in clutch situations? Because it seems like, especially the last few years, when the going gets tough, you're always hitting.
What's your name?
Paulo from ESPN Brazil.
I appreciate you saying I've been clutch my whole career. It's not many like you, I tell you.
Well,
there's not many like you. Either you're being very kind because it's National Wine Day to me, or I love Brazil, or I don't know what it is right now. But
the last few years, yeah, especially.
There we go. No, just I guess just being. First of all, my teammates and my coaching staff have, given me the reins to take the shot or make the play late in games. And, when you have that ability and when you have that confidence from your 14 teammates and then your coaching staff, and then you put the work into it, I think it's just it's a matter of just trying to come through. And like I said, I haven't always done it in my whole career, but I've never been shy away from it. And that's not even, either making a shot or making a play. I've taught the game the right way ever since I ever started playing the game of basketball. My first year ever playing Little League basketball, we won a championship, and my coach at the banquet gave everybody an MVP trophy, everybody. And that right then, I knew that this is a team game, and it's not about one individual and how much one individual can do in order to win championships. And in order to win, you have to have a full team, and that's what it brought it down to me. And the second year, we won it again, and we all got MVP trophies again. So that's just been instilled in me since I was 9 years old when I first started playing, of what it means to be in a situation where your teammates rely on you, but just making the right play, no matter if it's a shot or it's a pass. I've always just been taught that.
Do you feel like you embrace the situation more today than maybe you did in the past?
I've embraced a lot of situations as you grow up. I think that's just all part of, experience and things of that nature. mean, I love being a husband now. Did I embrace that at 18, 19? I don't think so. I've never been around married couples. So, you know, as you get older, you grow into more things. I didn't love wine until I was 30 years old, and now every other post is about wine, National Wine Day. So you learn and you grow and you know what's best for you as you get older. That's just all of us. I think that's what being a human being is. You find ways that you feel like you can grow in what you like and what you dislike. I mean, at 18, I don't think I'm the same player that I am today at 33, and I shouldn't be. And I don't think, me personally, I should be the same person I was at 18. I'm just much more seasoned.